Hey, Davey Rocket from Derek Designs. Today we are going to pick up where we were on last night's class, which was 7/11/2012. So where we are at is applying the textures to the deck and then UVW mapping it and also unwrapping it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is select the deck, make sure that you have it selected, and you can click apply, or you can drag and put it on, just drag it onto the object itself. But I'm just going to click apply. Okay, and next what we want to do is go to modify, expand editable poly, choose or highlight polygons, and then go up to the top viewport up here. And actually, let me do this right quick. Shade selected faces. Okay, and then we're going to select both of those, the top and the bottom textures or polygons. Okay, then you want to come down here and select our material ID. For this we want 1, since number 1 is grass. Okay, and then there's 2 ways that you can select the sides. You can either, like I was saying last night, you can draw a box to select all 4 sides that way, or you can go to edit, select invert, and then what it'll do is select the other polygons. Okay, so we have the sides selected, so we want 2. Okay, and there we go. Now what we want to do is we want to select the 2 top polygons so we can UV map them. So we select that, and then we go down to the modifier list and select UVW map. Okay, select planar, and just choose a, you can either type in the numbers here, or you can just kind of click the little arrows here and move it down. Just something that you like, that looks good to you. And once you get that, let's make it a little bit smaller. Just highlight, copy, and just paste. Now sometimes you won't do that on your objects. It just depends on what the object is. Okay, so that's good. So we will right click, collapse all, hold and yes. Okay, now let's figure out where our Y. Okay, there's our Y axis for the polygons. So we're going to apply a new UV map, and we're down here under alignment, choose Y, and then right here under the Y you have your fit button. So click on fit. You might want to scale in, and you kind of see what you're doing. And you can mess with the length if you want, and the width if you want. Just whatever looks good to you. However, I'm going to leave the length at default. Okay, that looks good. So right click, collapse all, hold yes, and then expand editable poly, polygon, then come over to the left viewport and select these polygons. Okay, so we can go back, new UVW map. Okay, and now we're going to choose X. Because remember I said the front and the back is Y, and the sides are X, and then the top and the bottom is Z. Okay, so as you can see, the texture is turned around the wrong way, so we need it facing up and down, and you can tell it's sideways because you have this little line here. This is the top of your gizmo for your texture. So there's one of two ways you can do this. And Gmax, it doesn't have snap to angle, and you can get it as close as you can by rotating it. Whoops, undo that. And you want to expand UVW mapping, highlight gizmo, and then see when you do that, it rotates wrong. Let's see, X, try that way. You'll see it still doesn't rotate correctly. So that's why we are going to apply a UV or unwrap UVW. Okay, so apply that, click on edit, and then what you want to do, draw a box to select all the vertices, or you can just hold Control key down and select, just draw a little box around each one. Obviously it's quicker just to draw a box to select all of them at the same time, and then click on rotate, and then just rotate it, try to get it as straight as possible, like that. And then you can move this around by clicking on the little pan button, and you can zoom out if you have a zoom wheel. If you don't have a zoom wheel, you can click on the zoom button there, and then you want to go to mirror, scale, click and hold the scale button, and you want the horizontal where the two little arrows are pointing side by side. Okay, and let's move this over here so we can see in our viewport how it's going to look. And so like I said, the further out that you have the vertices away from each other, that's going the texture is going to shrink. If you bring it in, then it's going to stretch. Now, that's not what we want. So we want to shrink the texture. So we want to expand the vertices out. And something looks good. Now I can see that this texture is flipped around backwards. So what I'm going to do, go to rotate, and just rotate it the opposite way. You don't have to do this, but just depending on the texture. There we go. Okay, once you have that done and it looks good to you, right click on UVW unwrap or unwrap UVW, collapse all, hold yes, and you're done. Okay, now where we are at is making a ramp. I know I told you guys to make a ramp for your homework, and that was not a test or anything. It was just to kind of let you guys figure out how to make a ramp on your own, just to see if you could do it. So it's not a big deal if you didn't. We are going to cover that now. But I'm going to make a second part of the video, I think. Let me check the time we have. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to make a part 2 of this video for the ramp, and then after that I'm going to make a new video for the upcoming class for creating a furniture items such as the table and the chair. So I will see you in a moment.